What'd you say to me? There's only one way we can settle this. Draw. I'm good. Yeah, I showed him.
Hello, welcome to McMean Machine. Today we are going over the Heritage Rough Rider revolver. As always, we're going to go front to back here. So this is a single shot revolver. It has a 4-inch barrel. It comes in 22 long rifle. You can also get a 22 Magnum cylinder here. And you can slap it on in here and it'll shoot 22 Magnum as well. You can also shoot 22 short out of this. I've done it and it's been fine. It has a safety here, and the safety does not stop from the trigger being pulled. The gun is clear, by the way. It just prevents the hammer from hitting the firing pin. There's a little cylinder here that has a flat edge and a rounded edge, and it creates a space that doesn't allow the hammer to make contact, as you can see there. Loading gate on the side, put it on a half cock, you spin it, that's how you load it. And to unload it, what you do is there's an ejection rod here, has a spring, and you open the loading gate, and as you can see, it'll push out the spent casing, you rotate, push, so on and so forth. Now, if you're not aware, Heritage Manufacturing is owned by Taurus, but I believe that these guns are made in the United States, and what makes them really cool is you can find these things less than $100. And as far as what it comes with, I got this one. This model came with a 22 Magnum cylinder. Also, it had a rebate going on where you could show proof of purchase and they'd send you another one for free for anyone who bought any Rough Rider. So I have 2 of them. But for under $100 and for as basic as a gun this is, there's not really a whole lot they can send you with it. Maybe a little cleaning kit, but you know, you basically just only get this and the manual. Something that's worth noting is that the gun also comes with a 1-year warranty. Something that I don't know if I mentioned, this is 6-shot, and how you would take it apart, I'm not going to do that in this video here, but essentially you put it on half cock. There is a retaining pin here that is held under spring tension. When you depress that, this pin here can be pulled out. It comes out the direction of the loading gate, and then you can take it out, clean it, or swap it for a different cylinder that fits the firearm. The trigger on this guy is pretty nice. I have no idea the weight, but it is a single action trigger. Goes real smooth, no complaints there. As far as testing and reliability, I mean, it was okay. Rimfire cartridges are not inherently reliable, just how they are. I have shot a plethora of 22 Magnum through this and 22 long rifle. The only issues I ran into was with Winchester Super X 22 long rifle ammo. I had a lot of light primer strikes that would appear on there, and when if I would cycle the gun back through, it would fire them on the second hit. But that happened a lot. And then also I noticed kind of what seemed like an inconsistent hit, but I only noticed that with the Winchester ammunition. It's just something to keep in mind, I suppose. As far as the build quality of this, it has a blued, I believe this is all blued except the hammer, which is stainless, and the trigger is all, oh, the trigger is actually plastic. I did not notice that till right now. So it has a plastic trigger. It's not super great, right? So this, the thing that houses the ejection rod, there's a screw right here, which kind of tightens that up, but it's come loose. The whole assembly has. Also, I noticed during testing that I was not hitting any of the steel, seldomly hitting any of the steel that I was aiming at when it came to the plate rack or anything. So I went to a man-sized target that was freshly painted and I put some rounds on it to see, and I was consistently impacting left.
Okay, so I had some trouble hitting some of the targets here, and I just wanted to get it printed on something so I could see where exactly my point of impact was. I was aiming just below this every single time, and consistently I hit left. Okay, so basically all of this right here is me, and maybe some of these as well. So I'm going to assume the sights are off a little bit, and we'll just keep that in mind.
Now, I've had this gun for over a year now, and I don't know how I missed it, but this front sight is clearly off center. I'm holding this perfectly straight with the camera here, and you can see that's so off. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know how I didn't notice it before, but that is awful. And something else that's worth noticing is I don't know if you can pick it up on camera. I think you can. There's a gash here along the rear trough sight, if you want the sight post here. And that's something that's cosmetic, and I really wasn't going to bat an eye about it. But now that I see how far off that front sight is, I do wish I would have sent it in for warranty, because that's just like, it's under $100, but like now I just have to pretend like that front sight post isn't there and just kind of use the trough to shoot. With that said, though, it seems like the mechanical accuracy is pretty good. If you looked at that video, I'll play it again here. The tightness of that group was pretty good. So I think as long as you get one with a good front sight post, you should be fine. Okay, so how is the user interface? How does the gun feel? Well, if you've never shot a gun like this, you can't shoot it like a typical semi-auto. One, you have gases and stuff that escape from the cylinder, so you want to be careful about having your thumbs or fingers cover that area because they'll get blasted. So you keep thumbs down grip. Also, there's no beaver tail to really tell you where you're supposed to grab the gun. So you just kind of have to experiment, see where it feels comfortable, but is also safe. Something else I noticed during testing is I have two 22 Magnum cylinders, and I'm not sure which one it was, but one of the cylinders itself was tight. And so when it came time to load the casing into that specific cylinder or to eject it, I really had to ram it back because it was stuck in there pretty good. So, you know, just another manufacturing defect that just kind of, I don't want to complain too much because the gun, I think I got it for like $80. It was like $79.99, plus I had that rebate for a free cylinder. So you pay for what you get. On the plus side, though, due to the weight of this gun, it being mostly steel, there's no recoil with it as you would expect with a rimfire cartridge from a heavy gun. Something that this gun really has going for it is the aftermarket. A lot of people really love this gun, and they have a ton of different variants of it. They have ones with like 2-inch barrels, they have ones with 16-inch barrels, they have ones with threaded barrels, they have ones that has a Picatinny rail on top so you can mount an optic, you know, and mount a silencer with a threaded barrel. They have a variety of grips, you know, with different designs and textures if that's your thing. I believe you can also get a stock for it. And something else I want to mention is that this is based off of what I believe is a Colt Single Action Army, which is just kind of a historical gun. And if you're not really into the old West style type guns or that, you know, lever actions or any of that, but you still kind of like want to get a feel for it, this is a very good place to get your feet wet, where you can have it. You can kind of get the sensation, the feel, the experience of shooting something like that without spending a lot of money. So ultimately, what is this gun for? Well, I think it's, you know, for those people who want to experience that kind of thing. Maybe you are into some of the old West style type, you know, guns, or you're into Western movies or whatever. I think this is an excellent gun for you. Also, if you're, you know, you live out and you need a garden gun while you're out working in the field or whatever to take care of snakes, whatever, I think this is a fine gun for that, especially, you know, if you're not worried about, yeah. I think it's a good gun to train, safely train youth to shoot with it. I think it's important for anyone learning anything to understand how what they're doing functions, right? And because there's multiple steps, you know, involved in shooting the gun, it makes the person think about what they're doing as they're doing it, which is obviously important when handling firearms. So youth, or maybe just anyone who wants to get into the guns, the reason I say youth is because the light recoil 22 is a cheap and light recoiling ammunition. What this gun is not for is home defense. You know, maybe if you want to use it as a club, but don't do rimfire home defense or concealed carry. I understand, you know, if you're someone who has arthritis or physical challenges where you know, you can't shoot something like 9mm. I do think there's better options out there than any 22, especially this thing. This thing's not small. I get they have the small ones that are like the size of a boot gun. I would just not do it. Just stay away from it. Get something different. Get something like our next video gun right here. This will also fit in your boot probably and is much more capable than this. That's the Ruger LCP Max, by the way. As far as what could be better about the gun, I mean, honestly, build it right. You know, don't give me a sight post that's way off center. Make sure your cylinders are properly milled or whatever bored. I'm not sure the proper terminology, but so I can actually load and unload. Oh, that is something I want to mention. Actually, is this gun does get dirty quick, and regardless of proper milling or not, when it gets dirty, it is hard to push in the ammo and eject it just because there's crud that gets built up in the cylinder. Other than that, for the price point, would I buy it again? Yeah, I would. I would have sent it back. Most certainly for the front sight post. In hindsight, if I would have noticed, I've had this gun for over a year and I never noticed that. I've barely shot it, truth be told. 22 is not really my thing, and honestly these type of guns aren't really my thing, but I enjoy it. It's cool. I've had friends shoot it and they're always like, oh, you know, they think it's cool. So, and it's cheap to let them shoot, so that's a plus too. Would I invest in the aftermarket for it? No, I wouldn't at all. But that's up to you. I mean, you know, you can get extra. Okay, I would get an extra cylinder. I got this one for free, but you can get their cylinders, I think, for $30. Don't quote me on that. I may be wrong, but that is a worthwhile upgrade, just for the versatility of being able to shoot different calibers. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you made it this far. I greatly appreciate it. But now we're on to our worldly and our religious base fact. For a fun fact, I want to do something about the Colt Single Action Army, and interestingly enough, this is the state firearm of, well, not this, but the Colt Single Action Army is the state firearm of Arizona. And I didn't know states had state guns, like state flowers or state rocks, but Arizona does, so that's pretty cool. Also, Samuel Colt never lived to see the production of it. He died 10 years beforehand, roughly. Samuel Colt is the guy who started Colt Firearms, if you didn't know. On to our religious-based fact. The Gospel of Luke is the only gospel that was written by a Gentile. That's someone who is not an ethnic Jew. Matthew, Mark, and John were all Jewish. And also he's not necessarily, but likely the only one who didn't personally meet Jesus. He outlines at the beginning of his gospel, he's more of like an investigative journalist, where he's interviewing people and trying to put together a cohesive story, and he mentions that, saying, this is the most accurate account I've taken, you know, interviewed many people to put together this story so you know what you're reading is the truth. So yeah, thank you for watching. Next time, as I mentioned earlier, I believe, going over the Ruger LCP Max.
So I was picking up my brass here and dumping it in the dunnage trays here, and I saw something. I was like, man, that's weird. I said, you know, I bet you $20 that's Blazer brass. Yep.